Hey guys, welcome back to another Architecture Real Talk. So today we're going to be looking at architecture from a different lens, from a different light. We all know the great architects of their era. We're talking about Le Corbusier, Louis Kahn, Tadao Ando, Frank Lloyd Wright. These people were epitome of what architects is of that time. They define what modern architecture truly is, and they pretty much reinvented the modern era. They reinvented what is called timeless architecture. And as architects created timeless works, people thought since they're timeless, they can be copied. And what do we do with copycat architecture? I'm talking blatant copying, like a black Villa Savoy or a sunken Villa Savoy, right? Places like Window of the World in Shenzhen, China, they celebrate these monuments by creating like a 1/3 version of the actual building. Now, all of this is fun when it comes to, let's say, a miniature version of Eiffel Tower or Pyramids of Giza, because you're celebrating the concept or the architect's sculpting or the actual building itself. They're no longer being utilized for the same function. But how do you deal with architects when they blatantly copy? I'm talking if we were to look at the Ledoux House of Education and you could replace the Pantheon or a circular Parthenon on top of the building and replace it with a square Parthenon, pretty much the same column structure, and you drop it as a University of Houston Gerald D. Hines College of Architecture. And those minor changes, does that give it the right to be celebrated as a great monument of architecture? And to what extent do we allow this? Now, when it comes to like Mies van der Rohe Seagram building, which became the monument of what we have as a pretty much a glass skyscraper that we have today. And that came out of functionality. Not every building copies that glass tower made out of steel, concrete, and put glass all around. They're actually copying it for efficiency. They're not trying to mimic the height of the floors. They're not trying to mimic the spaces inside of it. They're pretty much using it for functionality reason. So they're making a pretty much a copy architectural style, but not the actual building. So when you have people trying to one-up each other, trying to create the glass house. Let's look at the Farnsworth House, for example, and compare it to the glass house that was proposed by Philip Johnson. Now, is it right for Philip Johnson to go out and, I quote, call himself an architectural whore when he's actually copying the style of other architects? Is it right for Mies van der Rohe to argue with Philip Johnson to say, why did you open your house sooner when you are pretty much creating the same version of a house that I have, going down to even creating circular walls for the restroom? And at what point does copyright comes into play? It was not up till 1990s where they started defining what is architectural copyright, what is considered blatant plagiarism, what is the rights of record, that the architects didn't even have the time to do that. And even to this day, let's say architects create a work, and even after they go out of practice, till about 70 years, the work is protected, more or less, because it's obvious if you copy. But who's to say after that someone copies your work? Now, if you were to copy it and create innovation, push the boundary and say, no, Louis Kahn had it at this point, I'm bringing it further, then I can understand because you're pushing innovation into it. But if you're taking the exact same architecture and just creating a knockoff and a cheaper, faster construction version of it, what's your thoughts? Follow for more content.